But anywho, so I came up with this idea.
Right.
Most people who are trained to use their right hand and the right side of their body actually use their right brain, the right side of their brain. I use my left because I'm a lefty.
Okay.
So when people say you can project energy, it's like a battery post.
Right.
All right. So you got my left eye is my mostly dominant eye.
Right.
I can force it out of my right, but then I'm forcing my body to be that way.
Okay.
So naturally, I go left, and when it does, it splits down the middle. Like I see that car.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I don't know what you be looking at, but like, so at peace, right?
Okay.
So at peace, I be like, I can control which thoughts that I use. I'll think about people, my brothers, my friends, my neighbors, my family, whatever, and then that makes the head go up.
Okay.
See, like that's why I like Lincoln. He's like, yes, sire, you know, but he's just a neighbor. I try to get him to do something that he doesn't normally do, like play Call of Duty.
Okay.
Like anytime he thinks I'm trying to do something homophobic, I'm like, nah, play Call of Duty.
Okay. I got you.
See, but you can also pull in energy, and that's what I don't do. I ain't gonna say I don't do it. I seldomly do it.
Okay.
Because I look out, but then when I go into my thoughts, or if I just want to be at complete peace, for example, you can imagine, I'll say a black ball of light going from the back of your neck down to your spine and into your testicles.
Okay.
You felt that the entire way?
Mm-hmm.
That's how people can pull in energy.
Exactly.
Right. But I like to push out energy.
Okay.
And
pushing out negative energy on somebody else is not a good thing either.
well, no, I think about the bad things people have done to me.
Okay.
That's PTSD.
Okay, so that's what you have. Okay, I got you. See, I work with kids with, a lot of my students are, their parents are in the military, and I deal with PSE parents, and so I understand that. Okay, I have a lot of patience. Okay, but I also don't like being treated rudely either. And I'm not trying to say you were. I'm not trying to be mean or anything. But positivity spreads, negativity spreads. Okay? And when someone, I promise you, a lot of Uber drivers would have dropped you off at the side of the road. And I'm like, I'm not gonna do that to anybody. Like I picked up a kid yesterday. It was a young 18-year-old kid in Richmond Hill. You know, I don't. Most of my kids I work with are black. Okay? About 90% of them are, and I don't like seeing color. Okay? Because that's not how I was raised. Okay? There's this young little 18-year-old black kid, you know, and senior. He put in his. I had to pick him up at Domino's in Richmond Hill, and he put in the address to drop him off at Domino's. So instead of dropping him off on the side of the road, I was like, buddy, where do you live? He said, I'm not leaving you anywhere on the side of the road. But I don't leave anybody like that either. Especially a young 18-year-old kid living in 2022. You don't need to be on the side of the road. So I brought him home. And I said, ethically, I would feel doing that to you. And I said, most Uber drivers are out for the money. I'm a school teacher. I have a paycheck right now. But there was some kind of bonus this weekend that you do like 50 rides, you get an extra amount of money. Taking you up here is not a big deal. I'll do it. But if I get 10 more rides in Savannah, I'll be closer to my 50, which I don't care about.
I get it. I care about the money because I got things that I got to pay for.
I mean, I do too. But it's like you do like 50 rides, you get like an extra $195, and I'm like,
do you have a credit card?
Yes.
Do you have Capital One?
Yes.
I just got an offer from Capital One. If I refer somebody and they sign up, they can get 500. I can get 500.
Okay. So that's the kind of thing you do.
Yeah, like I want to do somebody else's schoolwork so I can make money.
Okay.
But like, I don't trust people.
Okay.
So I'm like, I can help you, but I'm afraid you might snitch on me. So I'm like,
okay, I got you. So now we're talking. Now we're cool. Okay. I think we just had bad vibes at first. I was like, okay, this guy's insulting me a little bit, like insinuating that I'm like, that's the kind of man I am. Like, is he insinuating that I'm not a man? See, this is the kind of words that I know big words and stuff, but I tell my students, you don't have to have a college degree to be intelligent. You know how you become a better reader, like how you read.
exactly.
Okay. But I try to tell my students, especially since a lot of my kids that are black and everything, I was like, they say the N-word a lot. And I'm like, can't you do a better word than that? Like, why? Because I don't want people seeing you as that word. Okay? Have them change it to something better. Okay? So people will stop seeing you as that. Okay? I said that word was created during a so much racism in this world. And I tell them that you got people like Barack Obama and all kinds of people up there that they don't see those kind of words because they're intelligent. Okay? They decided that they don't want people to see it that way. I said, so stop saying it, and people stop seeing it. Okay? Same thing with me. Those people say that I hate this word too.
You good?
C word or crack, whatever. I'm like, I don't want people seeing me that way. Okay? Because I'm not. I was born in 1984. Okay? And I grew up around all kinds of people. You ever heard of Savannah High School? That's my high school. And I chose to go to that school. It was out of my district, but I wanted to go there for business. Okay? And then I decided that business was not my thing, and I saw education as the reason why I went into education is I saw a lot of young kids going into all these jobs and they couldn't read and write like they should. And they weren't having good, strong male role models to push them into a better direction. So I said I gotta help change, even if it's just 2 kids at a time, get them in the right direction. So, and it's great that you have you want to get that passion out, but don't let anybody see that passion in the wrong way. Okay, that makes sense. So try to pull that passion off, because I saw it as a negative, and it's like, okay, this guy's putting negative stuff on me, insinuating stuff about me.
Usually at that, like, my mind is highly developed, highly active.
Okay, that's good.
So typically when I space out though, like, people have this idea that light is the absence of color and that it's good.
Okay.
I look at it as dark is the correlation of all colors, and so I keep energy close to me.
Exactly. And that's good.
It's not negative, it's just it's like orbs. It's like the yellows, purples, greens,
Yeah.
oranges, pink, etc., etc.
Yeah. Exactly.
Oh, that's Chuck Taylor's.
Well, just make sure when you say things that you're genuine about. Like, for instance, are you really hard of hearing in your left ear?
When people talking low, yeah.
Okay. So I was like, is he mocking me? Is he really serious? Okay. And that's what I took it as. Like I'm telling you the truth. I really do have bad hearing in my right ear.
But that's why I try not to talk too loud, because
Okay.
I know where my bass comes from.
But yeah, it comes from that deep down. That's good.
Right.
And I honestly don't. I can get loud, but I have more of a softer voice.
And see, I prefer to be loud, but it startles people like my brother.
Okay. We don't. I mean, I would rather have the voice, but be genuine. Like, I have a guy that I work with. He said something like, "Mr. McNair," like Dustin. I was like, "God," I was playing with him, joking around. And he laughed. But the deep voice. That's good. You got that James Earl Jones deep voice. That's good. You want that. That kind of voice actually brings good actors, narrators, and YouTube channels.
Exactly.
And that's actually a good thing. The only reason why I don't have one for myself is because I don't want my students finding me out there, so I don't do this. I don't mind you posting this.
Yeah, that's what I say. It's not even faces on it.
Okay.
So it's just...
But yeah, so I'm glad we're talking now. We realized, okay, we had a disconnect.
Yeah, exactly.
Miscommunication, disconnect. You didn't know me, I didn't know you. There was just, I was like, man, I don't want to leave this guy on the side of the road, but it's like,
it's that Alpha and Omega thing, like, where it starts is where it ends kind of deal.
okay, I got
So
you.
like I can shoot it left, or I can shoot it left or shoot it right.
Okay.
But typically, if I'm like going in a peaceful state of mind,
Okay.
I call it like my brain or my computer shutting down.
Okay, I got you.
And Lincoln's one of my neighbors, and whatever he's going through, you know what I mean, I just give him free energy.
I got you.
You know what I mean? Makes him feel special, makes him feel valued, makes him want to know what I want. And I'm like, I don't want nothing from you, but to see you do good. Like, he keeps talking about a real man don't get help, and I'm like, but a real man knows when to ask for help.
Exactly.
So you see what I'm saying? Like, I'm still educating him. He's from St. Lucia. You know what I mean? So, which is in the Caribbean. So I keep telling him, like, bro, I want to see you do good. Like, you around here every day sitting in silence, feeling miserable, wondering why I'm in the AC and why you got a room that don't have a fridge and a room that don't have an AC, and like they gave you a fan, your remote went missing. I'm like, you around here stressing about all these things, but you're not projecting yourself in a way that show that you want those things.
You got to work hard for it. You got to, and like I tell my students, one of my male students was wanted to cry one day. I was like, buddy, just let it out. But men don't cry. I was like, yes, they do.
I can't even remember the last time I weep, bro. Like, I might shed a tears too every now and then, but to actually like water bag cry, I ain't did that since I was boo.
Yeah, but you also don't want to have all that negative energy kept in, you know.
That's why I don't pass judgment. I just see a face and let it be.
Exactly. Well, like I tell my students, think of it, if you don't let that negative energy out, like think of a Coca-Cola bottle. You shake it up, and you open that cap, but if you drink some of it little by little and then you shake it up, it won't fizz up as much.
Right.
So that's what I tell my students. You gotta, if you don't want to cry about it, let it out some way. You know?
Right. And that's why I do the screams. Like, if I'm in isolation and outside, I'll scream at the heavens.
Okay.
But if I'm in like a cooler or a freezer or something and no one's around, then I'll scream. Like, one time I invited somebody to walk in and I call it a war cry. But yeah.
You gotta get it out, but you gotta get it out in a positive way. Like,
exactly. That's why I just let it be.
There's some kind of tortilla challenge that they have out now. I guess you're ripping up tortilla bread. I'm like, okay, that's weird. Hit a pillow, you know, write it. I tell my students, write it out, draw it out. Go see a counselor, talk about it. I said, you gotta let it out before it fizzes up, and then you gotta get it out, and then you're losing your mind. I can tell my students, if you're gonna get stressed out, you gotta talk about it. Talk to me, talk to a counselor, talk to an administrator, talk to somebody.
Yeah, when I first told people that I can hear thoughts and project thoughts, they all thought I was crazy and they put me in a mental institution.
Okay.
Right. So I proved that I didn't have any, like my psychologist, therapist, whatever he was.
Okay.
He realized that I wasn't crazy, I was just very passionate.
Okay.
And now we live in an age where I've been asking that more people have my ability, so more people can speak out on it. Because that's part. They used to tell us you only use 10% of your brain.
That's what they say, but you can actually gift this to kids that are actually like really gifted, like autistic, really gifted. They can actually use pretty close to 100% of the brain.
And that's where I'm reaching.
That's good. People that actually, well, very musically talented, and they actually use 100%. The problem is a lot of people that do 100% have a hard time dealing with other people. They don't see things like social skills and stuff.
Right.
So that's why I try to tell my students, like, you're smarter than this. You know, come on, you got this. So it's just hard though. But it's good that we're talking. We realize, hey, we got a miscommunication, disconnect. We're good now. What if I told you that I've actually seen people dying before? I've actually, before they die. Like, I've actually had a coworker of mine, met her husband one day, known the woman for about a year and a half, probably met the husband. And as soon as I saw the husband start walking away, we looked at each other. I was like, man, that guy's going to die in about 2 weeks. He's going to die in a boating accident. And there's 2 other people that's going to be with him. 2 weeks later, he died in a boating accident with his son and his best friend because of capsize. I've seen my wife's grandpa die. I've seen a few other people I've known over the years die. So I can actually, I don't know how to control it, but I've actually seen people die before they actually die. See what I mean? So there are a lot. Like, I might not be able to read the thoughts and project stuff and stuff like that, but everybody has their strengths and their weaknesses.
Yeah. And I'm a brainiac.
That's good. I wish we had a lot more people in the world that were brainiacs that was actually just trying to get off the streets and trying to find careers, trying to improve themselves.
Right. So this is my thing. Like, so many people have been told, don't do this, do it that way. Don't do this, do it that way. No, that's wrong. And I came up with the idea of, like, Boo, Anthony, Tony, same person. Pope, that's my last name.
Gotcha. I'm McNair.
Yeah, so I sent it to my brother too.
I'll give you my number too. Now that we're good now, it's just like.
Yeah, that's what I say. Like, I'm highly educated. I usually don't like to deal with people because because a lot of people would deny that they can do it, or they would, like I said, try to make me look bad, and I don't want to be in an institute because that's just as bad as going to prison. You know.
There's a lot of people in this world that's actually been able to do things. Like, I actually believe in psychics and all stuff. I think there's a lot of them out there that shouldn't be psychics, but I actually believe in all this stuff. My wife actually believes we both believe in ghosts, all kinds of things. I don't think you're crazy. I think you're fine.
Thank you.
I think I wish a lot more people could control those thoughts, control that. So it's good because we need more people that is able to do that. Reading people's minds and all stuff.
Right. I wonder what they be thinking about, because I'm like, there's no way I'm the only one in the world that can do this, you know? And I see it's a difference between watching it on the internet and believing that it's some magician or some stage prop or something than actually dealing with it in real life. Like, I actually did this one thing a few years back called The Human Evolution Through Optical Solutions, where basically the eyes fill in the blanks of the mind, but it also allows you to see things that you couldn't see unless you actually tried. For example, they told me I was supposed to have glasses. I actually just got glasses for the first time in years. But I could go out into the sunlight, stare at the sunlight, and then, like, at first I look at a license plate, I can't see it. And then I'll go out to the sunlight, stare at the sunlight, and then I try to see license plate, I see it clear as day. I read left to right. Sometimes I try to read backwards, right to left, but, you know, naturally, again, I'm a lefty, so I was taught to move forward. You know?
I can actually read backwards and read upside down and all that stuff, too. It's just the way I was taught to, you know. Like I said, I'm a lefty. At one point, my parents tried to give me the right with my right hand, and I was like, nope, I'm going left-handed. I'm the only one in my family that can do that. Let's go left-handed. But I do everything else. Like, I only talk on the phone, drive, and eat with my left hand and right. Everything else I do with my right hand. I throw a baseball with my right hand.
See, that's kind of how I